Championship or bust was the theme for Noah Gragson entering this 2021 season, especially after the soul-crushing loss at Texas that saw him give away a Championship 4 ticket on the final turn of the race. The expectations meter was set high for Gragson this year, and in the spring, he was easily the candidate for the biggest disappointment of the year. The 9 team just did not have the luck and finishes to even make it to the freaking playoffs. Tons of wrecks and mechanical issues on top of a heartbreaking loss at Homestead. It seemed like NASCAR Twitter had summoned the racing gods up above to hold him accountable for kissing that trophy girl all too forever ago. To break it, he would need to tango with the lady in black, keeping up with her and competitor Harrison Burton's moves to earn a statement first win on the year. The next week, on a special day in American history, Gragson got to pay tribute to those lost on 9/11 by doing what he did the week before, entering the playoffs with 2 wins on the year. And for the most part in the playoffs, the 9 team kept up the momentum. David Allmendinger gave him some bad fast race cars to keep him on a steady path towards Phoenix. Then teammate Sam Mayer, who by the way should not be in Xfinity right now, makes a rookie mistake and puts him well into a hole. It was a gut punch to the season, but Noah Gragson remained in a great mindset. He stated before the race that, quote, "We're going to be in victory lane," referring of course to he and his team. It was going to be a team-like effort with the 9 season on the line, and it was time to rally on a Halloween Eve at Martinsville.
Here comes Cindric to the inside. It's a drag race. Cindric and Gragson's gonna win.
With that clutch victory, a statement won, Noah Gragson and this 9 team have the opportunity to make history. The storyline lost in Noah Gragson's championship run is of course David Allmendinger, who will be looking for his 3rd Xfinity Championship with his 3rd different driver. Honestly, he's one of the best to ever do it in NASCAR's second-tier series, and there's no question he is going to bring and set up a bad fast Bass Pro Shops number 9 for Noah Gragson to drive on Saturday night. This is the biggest stage to date for the 23-year-old, and cashing in his chips for this year's Xfinity title could go a long way to solidifying his character as one that's here to stay for an awful long time. Speaking of a cast and crew of characters, are we really surprised a driver named Mr. North Carolina is good at NASCAR? Are we really shocked? I understand maybe at the beginning of the season as there were some doubters because we haven't seen AJ Allmendinger, of course, in a full-time capacity since 2018. Also, as crew chief, Jason Trinchier was a rookie when it comes to leading a race team for an entire season. Those were the things that restricted the College 16 team to more realistic expectations. But with a driver that has aged like some fine wine, there was no limit to what he could achieve. Winning race number 4 of the 2021 season with a statement victory in Las Vegas, Nevada. Win number 2 would take a bit, but it would be a big one at Mid-Ohio in June where the Dinger continued his road course mastery. Those 2 wins, however, were not the season-defining moments. Rather, I look at August, where AJ Allmendinger and the 16 crew really started to enter the championship picture. You know what his worst finish was in the month of August? Second 3 times. The highest, of course, being the win at Michigan, which put him in the driver's seat of the regular season championship entering Bristol. A lot of grit and determination was needed to earn it, trading doors with the guy he needed to beat, the 22. And while AJ Allmendinger ended this battle getting escorted to the infield care center, believe it or not, AJ Allmendinger was able to win that race and clinch the regular season championship in a magnificent fashion, giving him the points necessary to tie the defending champion as a co-top seed in these Xfinity playoffs. Those points would come in handy early at Talladega as the Goldfish Camaro did not have any golden luck, putting them close to elimination entering the Charlotte Roval. Still, this team was cool as Hyper Eyes, with AJ showing the next race why he's one of the greatest road racers, at least in the Xfinity Series, capturing the checkered flag and earning his 3rd straight victory on the Charlotte Roval configuration. AJ and the 16 team did cool off a bit, but in a good way as he had enough points to make it to the championship 4 without any drama. This title would not just be huge for AJ, but also Colleague Racing. This team has been labeled the future of NASCAR, and the team's first season-long championship is going to carry a lot of momentum into their inaugural run at the Cup Championship beginning next season at Daytona. This is a fun group to watch and a fun one to see hoist the championship on Saturday night if they can pull it off. Defending champion Austin Cindric has other ideas, and I'm sure he'd like to settle the scoreboard with AJ after losing the regular season championship to him. Still, this title defense year has been far from a championship hangover, not in the slightest, locking his spot into the 2021 postseason in his first possible chance by claiming the thrilling Daytona season opener. His first race at Phoenix as champion was, without question, an Austin Cindric masterclass, leading 119 laps to take new sponsor Car Shop to victory lane in their first ever NASCAR race, believe it or not. That wouldn't be it for the white and pink Ford Mustang, as they would get their money's worth, with Car Shop getting their colors showcased well in Delaware thanks to win number 3 at Dover, then again at the Tricky Triangle in the heart of Pennsylvania. However, none of these hail in comparison to Austin Cindric's 5th win on the year. Austin Cindric got to do something iconic by winning at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway, driving for the captain Roger Penske. Many people dream about racing for this guy, but very few win, and for Austin Cindric this was a huge accomplishment, and obviously this makes it even better considering this win was the second part of a Team Penske Saturday sweep after Will Power won the IndyCar Grand Prix in the Verizon number 12 earlier in the afternoon. Since that monumental win though, Austin Cindric has went winless. Although October has arguably been the 22 team's best month from a performance standpoint, even without reaching victory lane. Cindric still racking in double digits in the laps led total every single race, including Kansas where he led 3/4 of the entire event, his best total on the season. Now he comes back to Avondale, Arizona, a special place in his heart. And it's no better place for this team in a winner-take-all race for the championship, as car number 22 looks to win 3 in a row. Meanwhile, Brian Wilson will set up Austin Cindric's car for the final time in a championship situation, barring of course Wilson doesn't one day become Cindric's Cup crew chief. It's going to be a sentimental send-off as Austin Cindric graduates from Xfinity after 200 laps on Saturday. And of course, there's no better way to celebrate this end of an era, the end of all this success in Xfinity, than going back-to-back. Well, thank you Justin Allgaier for slacking off in Stage 2 of the Martinsville race, as because of that, I only got 3 of the 4 championship drivers correct, leaving Toyota its lone driver in the Xfinity title fight, Daniel Hemic, who will make his 3rd Xfinity Championship appearance when the race goes green Saturday night. And if you're wondering, no, after 119 starts, Hemic still has yet to win a Xfinity race, even after driving the entire season in a JGR car. Even after the 54 has been the dominant car this year, and 18-year-old Ty Gibbs, who hadn't even turned a lap in a Xfinity car, went out and won the challenging Daytona road course in his first ever start. For some odd reason, no matter the car or circumstance you put him in, winning just isn't who Daniel Hemic is. If you tell him at Uno to place a checkered flag or draw 20 cards, you know he's just going to go for the entire deck. Still, as his opponents win, he methodically places his cards to finish the game with a solid result. Daniel Hemic has spent the entire season traveling coast to coast on a mission to put up consistent numbers every single week and build towards a goal. His 615 laps led this season are second best in the entire series. He also leads the league with 30 lead lap finishes. Daniel Hemic's mission is awfully similar to Matt Crafton, and now it has been achieved in making the championship race. This offer he's gotten in the 18 at JGR is a blessing, which is why I Love You Poppy by J-Lo is probably his most streamed song on Spotify. If it somehow isn't, it will be if he is able to claim the 2021 XFINITY Series Championship, one that will make NASCAR history. Should Daniel Hemic beat Allmendinger, Cindric, and Gragson by winning the race, he officially celebrates his first ever NASCAR win during the celebration of his first championship. Should he run second to John Hunter Nemechek, who will be in the 54 this week by the way, Daniel Hemic will officially become NASCAR's first winless champion. And I'm not just talking about in a season, as that was done by Austin Dillon in 2013. I mean, he will be a NASCAR sanctioned champion before he is a NASCAR winner in one of its top 3 national series. This is a historic and intriguing accomplishment on the line, something that's never been done in NASCAR, and surprisingly, nobody's talking about it. It's like a NHL team that makes the Stanley Cup playoffs by losing in overtime 82 times. It's that improbable. And just because of the rarity of this happening, this is an outcome I have intrigue of seeing become reality. Although you can bet the house the negative echo chamber known as NASCAR Twitter is going to somehow spin this display of greatness into more NASCAR playoff bashing for just the 5,000th time in this calendar year alone. For the final time in the Red Xfinity era, a color that has highlighted the series since 2015, it is time to predict who will be crowned a champion of NASCAR's Saturday show. In my honest opinion, this championship is coming down to 2 drivers, Austin Cindric and Noah Gragson. Both teams know how to win championships, and both drivers are entering this race with a lot of momentum. In terms of picking a champion, in that case, it is hard to bet against this 22 team. Austin Cindric and Brian Wilson have dominated in Arizona, and they know how to be champions. That's why Austin Cindric will match his Cup Series number next year with 2 NASCAR XFINITY Series Championships to his name. Still, with a practice session and qualifying, any one of these drivers and teams can win and put an exclamation point on arguably one of the greatest Xfinity title fights of all time. So anyways, this is Nathan for NRF Productions signing out, and just remember, life's a beach and then you drive.